Hey, how's it going? Zach D Productions here, and I'm here with an album review for you guys. Well, this is technically a re-review because I'm pretty sure I have reviewed this album before on the channel, but that was a long time ago. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I've reviewed this band's entire discography on the channel. But I figured might as well give this album a re-review because it's been a while since I've talked about this album, and I've also been listening to this album a lot recently. I'm not sure why, I've just been drawn to this album recently. And I've just been listening to this band a lot recently for whatever reason. I mean, they are a great band, so I guess that's a reason to listen to them, right? And this album also celebrates its 15th anniversary this year, which is really hard to believe. So that album is Innocence and Instinct by the band Red, and this is Red's second album. Now, for those who don't know, Red is a band that definitely means a lot to me. They were one of the first bands I got into. I got to see the band live in concert twice, and I think that they have a very unique sound. They pretty much make this hard rock, alternative metal music, and they combine that with orchestral elements and stuff like that, and it really does work for the band. It really has this epic sound to their music, and I think it really does work for the band. So this is a great album. That's something I have to say right off the bat. This is a great album. I know a lot of Red fans say that this is some of their best work, and I have to agree. Honestly, this album and their debut, End of Silence, they go back and forth as my favorite Red album because I think both albums do have some of their best songs. But yeah, if you wanted to say that Innocence and Instinct was their best work, I couldn't argue with that. This is absolutely some of their best work. I mean, you really can't go wrong with any of the songs on this album. Now, there is a deluxe edition, which I will talk about the deluxe tracks. But I'll talk about the standard edition first. What's on the standard edition of the album? Just the 10 songs that you get on the standard edition of Innocence and Instinct. So the album opens up with Fight Inside, which is a very solid opening track. I like the build-up. I like Mike's vocals in the track. Very good. Very good delivery from everyone in the song. Death of Me, which I believe is the big song on the album. That's one of the singles on the album. Maybe one of my favorites on the album too. Really dig that song. It's fun to listen to. Has a pretty catchy chorus. This song also has a build-up at the beginning that just leads right into the song, into some heavy riffs that lead into the first verse and everything. It's just, again, a really fun song to listen to. One of the highlights on the album, I would say. And then we got Mystery of You, which honestly, it's one of my favorite Red songs, but I'm trying to think if it is my favorite Red song, because it actually might be my all-time favorite Red song. I'm not sure, but it is a great song, and it's maybe my favorite on the album. And honestly, I find the song to be sort of underrated, a little bit underrated, you could say. But this song, it has a great chorus. I also really like the bridge part of the song where Mike is singing, "Don't Go." I mean, there's some emotion there, you could say. So, yeah, it's a great song for sure. Mystery of You, definitely one of the highlights on the album. And then we got Start Again, which it's not one of my favorites. I mean, you could consider this a filler song, but I do like the song. I think it is quite good. And then you got Never Be the Same, which is probably the closest thing on this album to being a ballad. You could say it has a meaningful message lyrically and everything. It's pretty emotional. It's got some acoustics. And I do like this one. A very good song from Red. So Never Be the Same, another great track. And then we got Confession, What's Inside My Head. Really good song. I don't know if I'd say it's a favorite, but it might be. It might be a favorite. If it's not a favorite, it's like if I were to rank the songs, it's probably somewhere closer to the middle for me. I do dig the chorus. It's got a very memorable chorus. I confess, I'm always afraid, you know. Very captivating, very memorable. It's also pretty heavy as well. And then we got Shadows, which is also one of my personal favorite Red songs. This song was actually co-written by Benjamin Burnley from Breaking Benjamin. And this song definitely has the song structure of a Breaking Benjamin song. I mean, the song structures from Red and Breaking Benjamin are really not that much different because they both make very similar music. But, you know, you can just listen to the song, whether it has to do with the structure or the lyrics, and you can pretty much point out, okay, yeah, I can kind of see where Ben's writing is in this song, you know, lyrically. But yeah, this is a great song, has a very strong chorus and everything, and it's also pretty heavy as well. Really dig the song Shadows. Again, one of my favorites on the album. Probably one of my favorite Red songs too. And then we got Ordinary World, which is just a cover, which honestly, I think they really nailed it with this cover. It's actually pretty good. I don't know if I'd say it's one of my favorites on the album, but I do like it though. I mean, honestly, when it comes to the standard edition of the album, it's probably one of the weaker songs on the album, but it's still quite good. I really do dig what this one is going for. Overall, pretty good cover. And then we got Forever, which this song is kind of underrated. It's actually one of my favorites on the album, probably. It is a straightforward song. It's not very complex or anything. It's just a, you could say, straight to the point song. It's in and out. It's a good one for sure. So Forever, really good one. Even though it's straightforward, quite simple, it's actually really good. One of my favorites, probably. And then we got the closing track, Take It All Away, which is probably the most haunting song on the album. And it definitely works for an album closer because the first half of this song, it's kind of slow, kind of dark, kind of mysterious sounding. And then it picks up at the end. It gets heavier towards the end. It has this build up, which, you know, I think really does work for the song. And again, it's a really good way to close off the standard edition of Innocence and Instinct. Pretty good song. I don't know if I'd say it's one of my favorites, but I do like the song for what it is, though. I think Mike does a good job with his vocal delivery. Now, as for the deluxe songs, you got Overtake You, Out From Under. I know that's one. And I think there's a piano version of Fight Inside. I forget what it's called. It's called something else, but it's basically a piano version of Fight Inside. Now, I do have to say, when it comes to the weakest songs on both versions of the album, I have to say that the deluxe songs, they're not as good as the standard edition tracks. The deluxe tracks are honestly some of the weakest songs on the album. Overtake You, I would say, is overall maybe the weakest song on both versions of the album. But it's not bad, though. I mean, I wouldn't say that any of the deluxe tracks are bad either. But yeah, Overtake You, I'm just not crazy about. I find that song to be kind of edgy, if that makes sense. Now, Out From Under, I do think it's a pretty good song. It's not great or amazing or anything, but I think it's pretty good for what it is. I dig the heaviness. And I even dig the melody in that song as well. Now, the piano version of Fight Inside, I think is honestly just okay. It's not really one that I think to return to very much, but it's all right. You know, I don't mind it. Like, if it comes on or something, you know, it's not like I would turn it off or anything, you know. I can listen to it. But all in all, this is a great album, front to back, start to finish. Definitely one of Red's best. If you're new to the band Red, you want to check out their music, is this a good start? Absolutely, this is a very good start. I mean, I would recommend End of Silence for people that are wanting to check out Red. But if you wanted to start off with this album, that's fine too, because I think that this album is also a good enough gateway to the band. This album definitely gives you a good idea of what the band's all about. And yeah, this album, it has everything you want from the band. It has Very strong vocal deliveries from Mike Barnes. Of course, the musicians here do very good as well. The Armstrong brothers, they do good. So everyone did a very good job here. You know, production-wise, very good as well. So, yeah, Innocence and Instinct, very strong album from Red. Definitely worth checking out if you like this type of music, if you like Breaking Benjamin or 3 Days Grace, or maybe even Evanescence. Definitely check out this album. This is an album that'll probably be up your alley. So, Innocence and Instinct by Red, really great album. If I were to give this album a score, I would honestly have to give this album maybe a 9.5 out of 10. That sounds good for me. So 9.5 out of 10, really great album. Definitely one of Red's best. Some of their best work is on this album. So that's my review for Red's Innocence and Instinct. So let me know what you think of this album. Have you listened to this album? And if so, what do you think of it? Feel free to let me know. So on that note, thanks for watching and have a good one.